MMA boxing talk here. This video is going to be about the heavyweight division in boxing. It's really starting to heat up now that we have Anthony Joshua taking on Wladimir Klitschko. And for my MMA fans who aren't aware, Wladimir Klitschko was the heavyweight champion for 9.5 years. He reigned for almost 10 years and just lost a year ago to Tyson Fury, which was not a very entertaining fight. Klitschko basically just didn't let his hands go and was just he was bewildered by Fury's long, lanky, awkward style. But it wasn't like the most dominating performance. There wasn't a whole lot of people who thought Fury was never going to lose and going to beat Wilder and Joshua and Luis Ortiz for sure. He wasn't seen as the number one guy. I mean, he was because he beat the man. But anyway, Tyson Fury got stripped of his titles. So Anthony Joshua picked up one of them, the IBF. And so now he's fighting Klitschko. And the WBA is going to be also on the line for that fight. So the winner of Joshua Klitschko, they'll have two titles, two of the four titles. And now recently, just this past weekend, Joseph Parker won the WBO title, which was obviously Fury's title that he got stripped of. And, yes, Joseph Parker didn't beat the best opponent to get that title, but neither did Anthony Joshua to get his IBF. So, but now what I love about Joseph Parker is that he's not interested in fighting voluntary fights, beating a bunch of bums to pad his record or whatever. He just wants unification fights or mandatory fights. So he's looking to fight Deontay Wilder, unify with his WBC title, which would be tremendous because if Wilder fights Parker, the winner of that fight will have two titles, and also the winner of Joshua Klitschko will have two titles, and then you'd only need to make that one fight to get an undisputed champion, which first time since Lennox Lewis in 2003. And boxing doesn't have an undisputed champion and hasn't had an undisputed champion since 2005, Jermaine Taylor, when he beat Bernard Hopkins. So boxing needs this, the heavyweight division needs this, and it's very, very interesting because it's really starting to look like Joshua versus Wilder. A lot of things have to go right, but Joshua versus Wilder, maybe at the end of 2017, to crown the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I know so many fans want to see that happen, and like I said, a lot has to take place first, but hear me out. I believe Anthony Joshua is going to beat Wladimir Klitschko. It's not an easy fight. It really isn't. But Joshua's the same size as Wladimir Klitschko. He's got 1 inch reach on him. We know Klitschko really struggled with a taller man, someone that was much bigger than him. Now Joshua's the same size, but you got to remember Klitschko is used to fighting much smaller opposition his whole career, and keeping them at bay with that jab. He's not going to have that option against Joshua, so that's why I think Joshua's going to win that. Plus, he's got youth, experience, power, speed on his side. And Wilder versus Joseph Parker. That's an interesting fight too. I do think Wilder would win that, of course. Nothing's guaranteed because Joseph Parker definitely has much better fundamentals and is a lot more crisper than Deontay Wilder is. But Deontay Wilder, this is a much easier fight for Deontay Wilder compared to Anthony Joshua. I see Anthony Joshua giving Wilder a lot more problems than a Joseph Parker. Plus, Parker is quite a bit shorter. He's 6'4". I'm not offhand. I'm not sure what his reach is, but Wilder would be towering over him, and I do think he would win just by keeping him at bay. Perhaps it is a tough fight for Wilder, but I think he could win that. And then if Joshua wins his fight against Klitschko, there it is. It's set up. Joshua would have two titles. Wilder would have two titles. Man, U.S. versus the UK. It would be tremendous. It would be big business. I'm really not sure if that fight would happen in the UK. It probably would happen in North America. Wilder would want it in North America, and Joshua at the same time would probably want it in North America for the fact that he'd gain so many fans, he'd get a lot of exposure out here because there's not a lot of North American fans that aren't boxing hardcores that know about Joshua. It's all boxing fans that know about Joshua. But other than that, and even Deontay Wilder, casual fans know who Deontay Wilder is, but do they really? All of them really do? I don't know. They know about Floyd, they know about Pacquiao. They might know about Triple G, but I don't know if they know about Wilder. So it's very interesting. But like I said, a lot of things have to go the certain ways for this to happen. But we can see the end of the tunnel. We can see the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, and by end of 2017, maybe beginning of 2018, we might have a heavyweight champion, a heavyweight undisputed champion. First time, in 13 years. By then, it'll be like 14 years, whatever. It's huge. So I just wanted to put out a video talking about this. I'm really excited about this, and it would be really cool. I don't know if Eddie Hearn would want this, but it'd be really cool to have Wilder versus Parker be the undercard of Joshua Klitschko. That would be tremendous. That would make that whole event even much bigger. And, plus you'd have the prospect of, Wilder versus Joshua. Tune in. Hopefully both guys will win, and then they'll face each other, kind of thing. They could really sell that. I'm not sure if that would happen. That'd be a little crazy to have both those fights on one card, but just a pipe dream, I guess. But anyway, the undisputed champion in the heavyweight division is not that far. That is not a pipe dream for hardcore boxing fans. So let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to put out a video, give my take on this. Of course, you can tell I'm excited about this. It's about time, So it's looking like boxing, heavyweight boxing, the heavyweight division will be the first to get an undisputed champion in since 2005. It's looking like that. I know Triple G has is missing one belt to be undisputed, and of course Andre Ward, who in my opinion did not beat Kovalev. It was a close fight, but he did not beat Kovalev, and maybe he'll fight Adonis to become undisputed, but I don't know. I don't really see that happening. Let me know what you guys think. That's it for this one. If you liked the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMA Boxing Talk 1. Peace.